G'day, welcome back to my YouTube channel today on this fairly warm Thursday in Adelaide. I'm just getting a little bit of air breezing through our pergola here at the moment rather than be cooped up indoors. So 2021, today is Paws and Ponder I'm going to talk about, and why I'm holding that up to you and why I'm showing you that. Some time ago, about 5 or 6 years ago in fact, we were doing some voluntary work, and we still do, my wife and I, in a nursing home, and we help out with various activities there, including leading community singing and my wife playing the piano and all sorts of other things, various functions. We also help out with the church service they have every Sunday. Now, the reason we first started getting involved in the community in the nursing home was because my wife's auntie was a resident there some years ago. She's since passed on, and then later on my mum became a resident there who has also passed on. But anyway, to cut a long story short, we were in the church service one day and this gentleman came up to me and said, "Hi Jeff, how are you?" And I looked at this bloke and I didn't quite recognise him. And then I realised who he was. His name was Lyndon. And years ago, when we were both a lot younger, Lyndon was a crack table tennis player. He's one of the best in South Australia table tennis players. And we also both played for the church team back in those days as well, although he was in A grade and I was a lot lower down the ranks. But anyway, I hardly recognised him, but then I realised who he was, and then he told me how he had Parkinson's disease. And then it was quite obvious that he did have a bit of a problem there, and so we got to build up our friendship from years ago by seeing each other on a regular basis. And one day he said to me, he said, "Jeff, Parkinson's SA, Parkinson's South Australia, which he was involved with, they have a photography group. You should get involved." My friend Lyndon was a very persuasive sort of a character, and he'd be a real link man. He'd link people up, and he had an incredible memory for people and places and names and how to get to places. And so he said, "You should get involved with the photography group at Parkinson's SA. I don't have Parkinson's disease." And I said, "Yeah, maybe I should." So anyway, I found out that there was a small group of people met on a monthly basis. They'd already been going a couple of years when I found out about them, and so I decided to go along. And that was an interesting meeting. Before I went, I thought, goodness me, Parkinson's must be pretty challenging to do photography when you've got Parkinson's disease and you've got a lot of the shakes and all this sort of thing. And so before the first meeting I went, I thought I'll do some research and I'll work out different ways you can actually eliminate camera shake as part of your photography. So I did a little bit of a presentation to them on that very first day. Well, I've been going there and meeting with these guys for about 5 years now. Some people have dropped off the radar, but the core group is still there. My friend Lyndon, unfortunately, a couple of years ago, he actually died of cancer, not Parkinson's disease, but he's left a long legacy of all the people he was involved with. Anyway, I thoroughly enjoy my time with Parkinson's, and we go out we get together monthly. This last year, with all the COVID stuff, of course, we met by Zoom meetings most of the time, and we're able to share our photography with each other. We go on outings and encourage each other, and it's developed into a real fellowship, and we try and support each other during the month as well by phone calls and whatever. And because a lot of support is needed for people like that. In the Parkinson's community, they have lots of other groups too that are support groups and interest groups that support people with that disease. So each year we produce a calendar. That's what this one was. On the back here you can see some of the people there. I'll just hold that up there that are involved. This is about our core group pretty much. One of them unfortunately is no longer able to join us now. He's had to go into a residential care home, and he can't come with us on meetings anymore. And that's what happens. It's a progressive disease. But Parkinson's a lot of these people have had Parkinson's for a long time, and they control it with medication. And one morning, one of my friends, David, he and I arrived a bit early in this little bit of a park where we had agreed to meet, and he was shaking quite noticeably. And I said, "Oh, how are you today?" And he says, "I'm okay." I said, "You're going to have trouble with our photography today? You're really shaking quite a bit." He said, "No, not a problem. I'll take my medication in a minute and I'll be fine." And he did, and he was. So for the most part, medication helps people control their movements, but they've still got a lot of limitations, and it also can affect your speech as well. I've been learning a lot about it. I've still got a lot to learn. However, this is just a by way of letting you know that there are ways as photographers we can get involved with different people. Photography is not all about making money, doing weddings and portraits and commercial stuff and photographing food and whatever, but it's about getting involved in your community. And that's one of the ways that I've been able to do that. And I've given these guys some training. I've run my training courses with them, and we look at stuff that's on YouTube and we discuss things, and we have a wonderful time. So I'd like to encourage any of you photographers to maybe explore this idea. I'd also like to hear from anyone else that's doing something like this through the comments, or if you happen to be watching this video. In closing, I started doing a bit of research about photographers with Parkinson's disease, and I found a chap who's involved in the United Kingdom who actually makes a living as a wildlife photographer. And I'm going to put a link to an interview that he did and his website in the preamble here. And he actually brought out a book a little while ago to raise money for funds for helping find answers for Parkinson's, and it's called 7 Years of Camera Shake. So I'll put the link down there and you have a look at that, and it's very interesting. So I'd like to talk in this vein probably on my next video and a few others along the way, because I believe photography is great therapy, and these guys certainly find that out in the Parkinson's group. And I believe there are lots of other things that you can get benefit from photography too as a hobby. And one of the things I'm going to talk about soon is how photography can help you get through things like depression, because I've been there and done that. And there are limitations, of course, to what a hobby can do to help you with a deep, dark depression, but I'm going to share that on one of my forthcoming videos. So thanks for watching. Think about getting involved in the community. There are heaps of ways of using your camera and your skills and getting out into the community and sharing what you know, and just having fellowship, and dare I crack a good old dad pun, a bit of camaraderie. Anyway, so thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time.